What up, party people? Another episode, another segment. Brandon, how we're feeling today on this Monday?
You know, for Monday, it's been solid in my opinion. I won't lie. You know, I'm excited to talk about March Madness. The Final Four's coming up. Got World Cup
Gosh,
qualifiers, some basketball talk as well. I know little other sports thrown in there, but I'm excited. Love the sports world right now. What about you, man?
dude, man, good weekend. Shout out to Milwaukee. Just was there. Upset that the Bulls, the Bucks weren't there, but it was freaking cold. 20 degrees. Let me tell you,
Oof. I'm
ridiculous.
in,
And now it's 20 degrees here. I don't know what is going on. We're about to be in April and it's freezing.
I'm enjoying nice 65 right now. So
Okay. Okay, so we're already off on the bad foot, and I feel like this is only going to get worse because so much. But before we get in all of that, I
okay,
want to shout out Laura for telling me this really cool question, and I was like, you know what?
okay.
I think Brandon's going to enjoy this.
I got no clue what
So
this question is. You told me you texted me like just so you know I had the question ready. I'm not telling you anything though. I was like, okay, I'm
I
chill.
think you're going to be shook if
Okay.
you could be any type of potato, meaning fried, baked, sweet, whatever. What potato will you be?
I honestly don't think I've ever thought this much about this question. Like no one
I
has ever
know.
asked me this, so now I'm kind of like,
The minute
okay,
I
let me
heard
think.
it, I was like, we need to put this on the pod and get it on record before we forget.
So here's my thing. I wouldn't be a sweet potato. I won't lie. So I'm definitely gonna be a regular potato.
Okay.
But what type? I think baked out of the question just because I think it's gonna come down to fry. But there's so many different types of fries,
I
and I
know.
think I think I gotta go with a waffle fry in the end. To be honest, I think I gotta be a
Mm,
nice solid waffle fry. I debate in
why?
my head like once you asked me that I was debating between a waffle fry and like the big wedge fry. I don't know why, but those two just popped in my head
Mm,
because like as much as I like the McDonald's fries are great and stuff. I don't want to be this little skinny fry. I want to be this like when you see like I want to eat that fry like and
yeah.
I feel like when you see a nice waffle fry or like a nice wedge fry when you're at a restaurant, you're like that's gonna be a great fry when I dip it in whatever I dip it in like whatever you pick. But like some because waffle fries one, you got Chick-fil-A waffle fries, and
Yeah.
then also one of my personal favorites is things called Irish nachos. Instead of chips, it's waffle fries.
Oh crap.
When you come back to Atlanta, I'll
Oh
take you to the
Lord.
place. It's
Oh my
glorious.
God.
So like with that in my head, it's like just let me be a waffle fry and just put jalapenos, bacon, cheese, all like it's just like why not? Like that just
Yeah.
what about you though?
Dude,
I feel like
I
you have a
think
very
it's such
different
a
answer
good
now.
question. I so when I first heard it, I said fries. And
Yeah.
I think there's some. I mean, there's no wrong answer to this. Who doesn't like potatoes? But I've been thinking more about it, and the two that popped into my head
Okay.
were IHOP, like uh
Oh, I didn't think
hash
hash
browns,
browns. I didn't
hash
think hash
browns,
browns.
or the country style potatoes, like the little cubes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, that's true. I
for
didn't think about
so
those.
like, I mean, if I'm gonna have to go one way or the other, I mean, I'm gonna probably go the country style. But
Yeah,
you can't because then like you could get it for breakfast, but you could also eat it later and you can have it for whatever meal and you'll be
you're
chilling
right.
and you could dip it in what and it's like crispy but soft. I don't know. But there's so many different types of potatoes. I was just like, how do you
See the
really pick one?
when you asked me that question, my first thought went to camp when we had about 30 different types of potatoes in a week period. And I was like, do I want to be any of those potatoes though? And it's like, not really. But the country part, I didn't think about the breakfast. I avoided breakfast.
And that
But
just opens a
yeah,
whole new world of possibilities.
I think
So
both our answers are solid because neither of them is like the basic, I'll be a nice little potato. Like, I'll be like a regular fry. No, you have good reasoning, you have options. And then with me, I'm not just a regular waffle fry. I'm waffle fry, but in
fry with
nachos.
bacon
Like,
and cheese,
like, like
jalapenos.
I'm extra. I'm that extra right there. But
I love it. I love it.
I
And
love
then
it
you
too.
could throw in like mashed potatoes. You could throw in
Yeah,
like,
see, I
I
thought
mean,
about that. Yeah,
there's just so many.
there is. That's a very interesting question.
Going from any right answer to we got every single wrong answer possible. Let's just get into
So
it.
let me shout you out first. Congrats, you've taken the dub. There's no way I can beat you in points. I looked at it. I don't understand it still. I don't. But because you have Villanova, and even though I have Kansas, the fact that Yeah, blah blah blah. Congrats, you got the dub. We're broken even
The
now.
point system doesn't make sense. The point,
Makes no sense to
like
me.
the minute Gonzaga lost, my max was like I have four. I think I have 300 now. My max was 480,
Yeah,
and
I'm
you would
pulling it
still
up
have
right
like
now. And
800.
one sec. Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. Just okay. So like right now, my max is 440 or 440. I'm capped. Okay, cool. So I'm done. Um, you're at 570 max of 730 because you have Kansas going to the finals, so you still can get that massive point swing. But so besides Kansas and Villanova, which you got right, and then I got Kansas right. That's all we got right. Let's be real. We were very off.
We were
I was
very wrong.
correct. I was correct when I said that Gonzaga would not make it out of the Elite Eight. That much I'm correct on.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that I completely screwed up my other picks on that side of the bracket. But listen, it is what it is. I've accepted defeat.
You
I
were also
salted my
right
pain for
with
a little
saying
bit.
Gonzaga would be the first #1 team to lose.
No, 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 no. UNC beat one earlier. They beat Baylor. They beat Baylor the round
Oh,
before.
right. I
Yeah,
forgot Baylor
yeah.
was a thing.
Which
Okay.
yeah. So that's also what threw me off. I was like, okay, Baylor's going to run, but there was a night I looked when Gonzaga lost. I remember I texted you, and that's also when Michigan was losing, and you're like, "Don't talk to me right now." I was like, "It's fine." And then Arizona lost. I was just like, I put my phone. I said, "If Would you text me right now? It's gonna be bad. I cannot look right." I was like, "This." I went from like this high point of like I'm cashing right now to just so I'm done. Like there was no hope. Yeah.
If I couldn't have had that day be any better, if like one of us was to have been right and our pick kept on going, I really don't think we would be having a podcast today. Like I
No,
think we would have
there was
just
gonna be
poked each other.
yeah there was a call about I don't what was it Thursday or Friday night that was like, all right, listen here, bud. If you try to talk to me and your team wins, I'm gonna come at you in a very hostile way. We can talk, but it's not gonna go well for either of us. But yeah, oh my God, these games. I I don't know where to start. So if you want to
I
start,
have
go for it.
no
I need
clue.
a
I
moment.
mean,
Okay,
I think just like the thing that's been on my mind, right,
all right, go
is
for
like
it.
this whole thing has been about storylines. We had Michigan
Yeah,
State against Davidson. We had and then what is it called? If Michigan State would have kept going, there was a storyline.
yeah,
Gonzaga
yeah, yeah.
storyline of like #1.
Always
Again,
failing.
Arizona is just like this defensive monster. St. Peter's comes out of nowhere and then they make it to this far. Storylines all over the place. I think the one storyline that no one thought could happen was this Duke UNC. Like
Well, so that's what I was going to talk about. It's never happened before. This is the first time it's ever happened.
in March Madness.
Yeah, in March Madness. Yeah.
I mean,
And so
what a storyline for his last year.
what a storyline. Now here's my thing. The last game of his last home game of the season, UNC ruined it. They blew them out. Do they get their revenge or not? That's my question. And I won. I was as much as I loved the St. Peter storyline, wonderful, great to have a new Cinderella story. I felt it was only right that UNC won for fun. Like either way, it would be a great storyline. But I think for Coach K's purposes, UNC
Yeah.
versus Duke, Final Four. Like the only way it can get bigger is UNC versus Duke championship.
Yeah.
But
Seriously.
before I answer my own question, who do you have winning that game?
I have Duke.
Okay, I do too, actually.
I honestly think, and I told my cousin this, that the day Duke won against Michigan State, I said Duke has the potential to win it all. And she was
Yeah.
like, everyone has the potential to win it all in March Madness. I said, understood. But when you look, it's like a Bill Belichick team in the playoffs. You can't count them out of any game. And who do you trust more? Coach K or the other guy? And you have to say Coach K. And his team knows that. His players know that. They know it's his last season.
They want to
They're
win for him.
Hard. They're playing hard. I didn't watch the Duke UNC game earlier, but I guarantee you the effort they're putting in now is not the same effort that they put in then.
Yeah. I agree. I think Duke's going to win this. And I go back to the Michigan State game as well. Michigan State had that, I want to say, a 6 to 8 point lead going down in the second half where they had it. And then Duke just went on this mad run, not just of the scoring, but blocks, steals. Like it wasn't just offense. Their defense, it wasn't like Michigan State was missing shots. Michigan State was being blocked, ball was being stolen, like it was turnovers, big plays. So I definitely think Duke's going to win this game. I honestly could see overtime though,
I
with
could
the
see it.
rivalry being with the rival being who it is, because UNC is not going to go. Like as a UNC player, part of you would love to end Coach K's career with the rivalry of who you are against that team. One, you ruin his home game, his final home game in the regular season, and then to take him out of the bracket and then take yourself to the championship. That's a storyline itself. Like, so I
No,
still, as well with you, think Duke's going to win it, but I could see maybe double overtime even. Like, I feel like it's going to go back and forth. Now,
I would
it could
love
be a
that
blowout.
too. I would
Knowing our
love that.
picks, it's a blowout. It's a blowout.
At
Knowing
this
our
point,
picks.
anything could happen. St. Peter's could come back and play Duke. I don't know. Like at this point, like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I
The
definitely
other
think we should
side.
shout out St. Peter's though before we move to
Oh,
the other side. What a story that was. I did hear that their coach is already taking like a massive D1 school coaching job now. So like, you hate to see it, but at the same time, you kind of saw it coming.
right.
But
I mean, if
great.
you look at what happened to St. Peter's, I feel like whenever Cinderella story comes up, they always find the weirdest dirt on the team.
Yeah,
This team was playing like they couldn't have music during their workouts.
I
Because
heard
it was
saw
next
that.
to
Yeah,
they had like flooding in their gym. Like
yeah,
this team was literally like in the cut. Like they were
yeah,
playing. I loved it when he said like we have inner city boys. Like we ain't scared of no one,
yeah.
and they played like it, man. And
They
honestly,
did.
UNC like that game wasn't like it was close to like in the middle of the mid like by halftime, but then like it just kind of
Yeah, UNC just kind of
just
flexed on them.
and
Um,
this team just got tired. But when I don't
yeah.
know, it's just
I
such
mean,
a great story.
it's so hard for you to run the table as that much of an underdog. But still, I mean, they made their names for themselves. Their players, massive NIL deals coming their way probably, honestly. So
Oh yeah,
congrats to all them. I'm sure they'll be back. I really don't feel like they're just going to drop off. I feel like it's going to be kind of the next Loyola Chicago, kind of like this point. If Loyola Chicago wins the game, it's not like, oh my God, they won. Like it's like, okay, they win. Like it happens.
yeah,
But the other side of the bracket, this is more the kind of like expected bracket a bit. Like
yeah.
it might not have been the way we thought they were, with the Z's, XYZ, zigzags, whatever you want to say. But Villanova versus Kansas. This is gonna be a good matchup. I'm
I'm
excited.
ready for this.
Yeah,
I'm ready for this.
yeah. Congrats. You picked Villanova Final Four. You made that one, and you picked Kansas.
Got
I
me
got
the win in
Kansas.
our bracket. Got me
Yeah,
the win
yeah.
in the bracket.
That was really it. Villanova going that distance and me having Loyola Chicago beating them pretty much kind of screwed me over. But I went with the big boy. I went with the risk. It didn't pan out. But yeah, so I think whoever wins this game wins the championship, in my opinion, to be honest.
Mm, okay.
Villanova's playing some really good basketball right now. I mean, really good basketball. And I feel like they've been tested, I think, in every game from what I can tell. Like it hasn't been easy dubs for them. Like I know their last game it kind of seemed like a blowout in the end, but like I feel like they've had to like fight every game.
Villanova, you saying?
Yeah.
I mean, their first game they beat Delaware 20. They beat Ohio State by 10. They beat Michigan by 8. I mean, kind of easier going games.
Yes, but also like I mean, that's fair. But Michigan was going on a run. Michigan was
Yeah,
going through a tear, and then they beat who did they beat in the Elite Eight? Was it
Houston.
Houston? Houston they put on the burner though. I mean,
Yeah, I
Houston
know.
was never in that game. That's my thing. Like Houston, they flexed hard on Houston. But
The
then there's
final score
Kansas,
doesn't
who
reflect the actual
yeah,
game. I completely
yeah,
agree.
100%. Yeah, I mean, Houston was never. I thought from the start Houston was kind of done. But then there's Kansas, who the only number one seed left, who I will say this now before I have Kansas beating Duke in the finals. I'll let you ponder that one. Your eyes just limp a little bit like I was not expecting that. Either it's because you have the same or you have completely different.
I have half and half.
Okay.
I think Duke wins that game, and I think Duke wins it all. And I don't think
Okay.
I don't think it matters who comes out of the other side.
Okay.
But if I'm gonna have to pick, I'm going to have to pick Villanova. And I don't know, man. Like if you look at Kansas's run, like they put when
Let's
you
look at
look at
this run real fast.
they placed Texas Southern, they won by about 30. Okay, I'm with you. They faced Creighton. That was
Yeah.
a close game. I would say their games have been a little bit more battle tested in the sense of they had Creighton, they're up only won by 7. They had Kansas and Providence, they only won by 5. The Miami Florida one, yeah, okay, that was a 26-point game that they
Yeah.
won by. I don't know. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Kansas. I also don't think like Villanova's run has been great, and they're playing. I mean, if you make it to the Final Four, you're playing great
Yeah,
basketball.
you're
That's
playing
a
great.
blanket statement, but I think it really does matter how you win the last game. And
Yeah.
why I say that is, I mean, Villanova was kind of like against Houston. I mean, like you said it better, but like Kansas just put on a show.
But Kansas they're supposed to do that to Miami. Like Houston, Villanova, that should be a much closer match. Like it should be that. Like if you go off of what their seats are, but
Right.
Kansas is supposed to, say Miami, you had a nice run, but sit down. This is big dog time. Like, and they did.
But
And
that
that's
plays
what North
into their
Carolina
psyche.
did to St. Peter's also. Like the teams that, these higher seed teams, blue collar teams that have been here before, which all 4 teams have been here now. They've all won
Right.
it. This is like, that's what's interesting to me. There's going to be no new winner. There's going to be no first time Final Four appearances. These are all like the history of these programs have all been here. But
And I think the Duke UNC getting that matchup, if you really want to look at it out of the Final Four, who had the hardest path, I mean, it's really a toss up between Duke and UNC. UNC had Baylor.
I think
UNC
I
had
give
Marquette,
a slight nod.
Baylor, UCLA, and
I think
St.
slight
Peter's.
nod to UNC purely because Duke didn't have to face Gonzaga. And UNC went through a number 1 seed.
Right.
They went through a number 1 seed. They went through who was the third team you said? Let's look right here.
But I would
St.
hold
Peter's
that
was on a
again,
magical run.
Gonzaga, man. If you watch that Arkansas Gonzaga game, the post game interview with that kid with the no eyebrows is what I was calling him. He said that Gonzaga was partying before the game started. I mean,
yeah.
I get it. Gonzaga was really the number 1 seed, but like that was my pick too. But when I heard that, I was like, this team is a joke. Like, okay, you're number 1.
That's why I told them. I was like, they'll make a lead 8, but that's it. But UNC had to go through Baylor, which won it last time. They had to go through UCLA, which is a tough matchup. Then you have the pressure of knocking off the Cinderella story, which you should win. But the teams also at that point, they've upset 3 teams before you. Like you don't want there's so much pressure.
To do your job.
I think UNC has had the hardest run. I think Duke's a close second. I think Villanova and Kansas definitely had the easier runs. Like both of their brackets were kind of easy.
Right.
Kansas did their job. They beat up on the teams they were supposed to. They had their scares, but they closed it out. They didn't, they made sure there wasn't like, oh God. I think, I definitely think we both agree with the Duke. Duke's going to been against you. I just think it's time. Like, I don't see Coach K losing it until the finals if he loses. If it's Villanova, I think Duke wins. But I think if Kansas makes it, they pull off the 1 seed how we're supposed to be winning.
Well, did you at first you said you think whoever wins the Villanova Kansas game, you think is going to
win
it all?
I did say that, and then I thought more about it.
Okay.
I quickly went reverse a little bit in like 30 seconds.
No,
but
because I was going to say the opposite. I was like, whoever wins Duke UNC, that team is going to win it all, because they've been battle tested. They went both of them, and Duke didn't have like as much like you said that they've went through Michigan State, Texas Tech, and Arkansas, which that's not anything to blink at. No. And if you really think Gonzaga shouldn't have been the number 1, Duke would have been number 1.
It's true. Yeah. Well, the thing is, here's the other thing. If Duke had been a number 1 seed, you probably have Kansas or Baylor as a 2 seed. Like everything starts to flip flop at that point.
Right.
And then the whole bracket, because if Duke wins the ACC tournament, wins against UNC in the final game of this regular season, who knows how the bracket changes? Like that.
Yeah.
Whole different world. I think at this point it's too much for UNC. I definitely think Duke wins that one. And then I just don't see Villanova winning it against Kansas. I think they've had a nice run, but I think Kansas, I don't know the last time they won it all, but I think it's their time to win it again. Um, I wouldn't be upset seeing Coach K go off on top, but it's also the chances of you really doing that. Like it's so rare, and there's so many times of you going out and you just not quite making it. Like it's a higher chance of him not winning it all than it is winning it all. Like as he retires, I just feel like
But we didn't think he was gonna. I mean, you had Michigan State
I
beating them.
they had that. I'm still salty. They had that game. They had that game. I'm still go back in our text. You saw how salty I was. Don't get me started on that one. Why
I
would
think
you bring
that
that
was
up
like
again?
the first domino that fell for you, and then everything. Yeah. But just so we kind of got it on record, you think it's gonna be Kansas Duke, Kansas winning it.
Yes.
I
And
think
you
it's gonna
have
be Duke,
Duke,
Villanova with
Villanova.
Duke winning it.
Okay.
So it's on the record.
It's on the record. I'll take 10 from you when it happens. Confidence.
Okay.
Confidence, my boy.
And if it's like if we're both wrong, then we're screwed. And then like we both
At
give
that,
each other $10.
if it's somehow UNC versus Villanova, or I mean at this point, if it's UNC versus either team and UNC wins it, we're just gonna be like,
We'll never do March Madness again.
Yeah. At that point, it's like, so we need to do more research. But yeah, so we picked it wrong. If you want to put in our bets, the new picks, go for it.
You want to
I'm
start us
still
off
just in
on the
shock.
next?
Yeah, I'm still just like comprehending how like good the Elite Eight and the Sweet 16 were like over this past week. But before we move on to the big boy basketball teams, there's been a few other little breaking newses over the other two major sports, baseball and football. And I'll start in baseball because it's shorter and it's a little more my topic than yours. Albert Pujols goes back to the Cardinals on a 1-year deal. I don't know how much, but he's announced it's going to be his final season in baseball. Dude's an absolute legend. It's going to be big. Fans are very happy to have him back. I think it's a great move from the Cardinals to have him back for his last season. Opening day is 10 days away now. It's coming close. I think there might have been a few smaller deals, but for the most part, that was kind of like a big name. There's still a few players left, but from what I've seen, it's pretty much a spring training going along. I love Albert Pujols. I don't see him having a crazy year. I think he's going to kind of end up being more DH/bench player, which kind of expected as he's fallen off. He was that last year for the Dodgers when he ended up there. And then NFL, kind of like the day, I don't know, it was a day or like the night of after we got off the call last week that I texted you. I was like, it's begun already. Tyreek Hill leaving Chiefs to go to either.
And that happened within like an hour.
Yeah.
That was like an hour.
It was either to the Jets or to the Dolphins. And I was just like, the Jets. I was like, there's no chance. There's no chance the Jets sign him. And then I was correct. The Dolphins gave away, 5 picks, I think it was? First, a second, a fourth, a sixth.
And a fourth this year.
And then a fourth and a sixth.
A fourth and a sixth next year.
Yeah, and he said some things. I mean, the man's the highest paid receiver at this point. He was at 4 years, 120. I want to say it's exact. Yeah, so he's got his money. Is that going, in your opinion, is that the stepping stone to help Tua and the Dolphins make that push to get to the playoffs and actually make a run? Or do you think that Tua is still a problem?
I think Tua. I don't think Tua is the problem. I think there's too much drama with that organization that has yet to unfold. We don't know the ramifications of what Brian Flores and this lawsuit's going to do.
That's true. That's fair. I didn't even think about that.
I'm going to say that the first thing is Davante Adams ruined the Chiefs dynasty. I just think that needs to be said. And when I say that, I really mean Aaron Rodgers ruined the Chiefs dynasty without even having to play him ever. The reason is Davante Adams was sick of Aaron Rodgers. He leaves, he becomes the highest paid player, the highest paid wide receiver. Kansas City and Tyreek were in conversations to renew his contract. The minute that deal happened, Tyreek was like,
talks were done. Yeah.
Like, which that is a debate, right? Do you go Davante? You go Tyreek? I think they're two different things. Like, Tyreek,
they're very different styles.
Stretches the field. Davante Adams, you go with the short, deep. He can do the long stuff, but like short, quick. He's
Yeah.
good hands. He does the job. And
Yeah.
Tyreek is too, but he does other things that Devontae Adams and like height difference, whatever. But like I think if it's like 1A, 1B, however you want to call it, I think those are the two best wide receivers currently in the league.
I
But once that
do agree.
happened, it was
I
over.
think, unfortunately for Tyreek, I think his production and stuff this year is going to severely drop.
Oh yeah.
Tua, he hasn't proven it to me, and I've seen the memes left and right, of him looking for long balls that are being underthrown by Tua and stuff, and I'm just
I
like,
love those.
oh my gosh, like I mean, Tyreek got paid, and that's what he wanted. Devontae Adams definitely screwed up his contract because if he doesn't sign with the Raiders, he probably gets what 4 years, 90 million or something like that, like way less.
Yeah.
But yeah, at that point, it's just I think at this point it was just about money. He was like, I've won my rings, I'm gonna do what I have to get paid. Given the Dolphins have speed out the ass at this point. I mean, oh
Jalen
my
Waddle now.
God.
With
Everybody, it's
him,
not just those two, there's like 3 or 4 of them, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. I think Tua's not quite there for it to really matter. I think Tua is not going to be a Dolphin for more than maybe 2 more years. I still think he's going to end up getting traded. I think it's going to be another carousel when it kind of came to like a couple other quarterbacks when they started just getting traded left and right. But we'll see.
I have 2
that's
questions though for you.
okay.
On that. The
Go for
first
it.
one is who do you think is gonna miss the other more? Do you think Patrick Mahomes is gonna miss Tyreek more, or is Tyreek gonna miss Patrick Mahomes?
Tyreek's going to miss Mahomes so much because Mahomes also they signed someone from Green Bay as well for like 3 years,
Marquez
36
Valdez
or something.
Scantling.
Yeah, he has options. He still has his tight end. He still has his running backs. He still has receivers that. But Tyreek's going to go from Mahomes, who's literally can be like, here's a ball. I'm not looking at you. It's going to be perfect to Tua, who's going to be they're going to get pressured more. He's not like, he's just not going to give him the spot where he needs it. And he's not as quick of a release, in my opinion. So like those quick slants that where Tyreek's just running down the field,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen as much. The Dolphins are a lesser team, in my opinion. So I definitely think as a whole, it's just, he's still gonna get targeted and stuff, but at the same time, Waddle's 2 as 1. Like Tyreek's not gonna be his 1. He's dropped, which is weird to say that Tyreek Hill is not a 1 receiver anymore. Like he's now at the current moment, until they have reps, until they have chemistry, he's the number 2 receiver now.
But was he really the number 1 in Kansas? Right, Travis Kelce.
That's what I said, yeah.
That's a good question too.
It is. That's another question. As receiver wise, yes. Because if you go receiver tight end, that scenario, yes. So on a technicality, he was.
Right.
But also, I mean, like the problem with that is also you couldn't, if you double team Kelce, Tyreek is getting the ball. You double team Tyreek, Kelce's getting the ball. At this point, like they're gonna have to have some very tricky plays, in my opinion, for this to really work out well. And I'm just not sure. Maybe in year 2, but in year 1, I think it's gonna be a learning curve for Tua and Tyreek. And I think he's gonna enjoy his time there just because it's Miami.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a blast on it. But I think he's gonna miss Patrick Mahomes.
See, and this is my answer is gonna lead into the next question.
Okay.
So I really think Patrick Mahomes is gonna miss Tyreek more. I think Tyreek kind of wanted what he got, right? He wanted the money. He's not going to miss it. He's like, he knows what he's like. There's no way he's looking at doing like these 2 guys aren't. Like when he made that decision of like the Jets and the Dolphins, like he knew that the Jets, he wasn't going to win. He was looking for the money. Like that's what that told me. He got what he wanted. I think he's happy with his decision. I'm a little pissed off because he said that he's going to win 7 Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes. They're going to do a Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen situation. You leave after a year. Like, okay.
Part of me wants to know what the deal was that Kansas City had with him, like the deal that they offered that he declined. That would be so interesting. Will we ever know that? No, but it'd be so interesting to actually know what he was like. You know what? Nope, I'm on, because it's kind of the same thing when it comes to like the Freddie Freeman thing from Braves to Dodgers. He took 1 more year but less money. So it's like, what was that really kind of final stone that made you swap from your team to? I mean, Kansas City fans are hurt right now.
Oh yeah,
they're like, but all right. So you said you have a great segue. I ruined it. I'm sorry.
No, because I think that you're talking about it, right? Kansas City fans are
Okay.
gonna miss him. Patrick Mahomes will miss him. The reason why is we know who is gonna win the AFC East. We know it. It's Buffalo.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe New England, but really that it's Buffalo. Do we really think Miami's gonna be there? Maybe second or third, but they're like looking at the AFC West. I mean, this is huge. This is a huge loss,
Yeah,
which is why I think
it
Patrick
is.
Mahomes will miss him because now, I mean, we're like you could say Denver or Chargers first, right? Like that makes them 1 or 2.
You could.
Then you could put the Chiefs there at 3 with Tyreek Hill, and they struggled last year. Like,
Yeah.
let's not get fooled. They were not playing good football with Tyreek, with Travis Kelce, with Patrick Mahomes, with the whole.
But their
team.
defense last year also, their defense was very bad for stints last year. I mean, very bad.
But their offense. The issue was their offense was playing just as bad as their defense.
They were.
Like
You are
that
correct.
first season that they made, that I think their first Super Bowl, not run, but the actual first Super Bowl they won.
Yeah.
Like their defense came on at the end of the season, but the offense really saved them. That offense didn't play well. Patrick Mahomes was looking bad. Like mechanically, the players weren't playing well. Now you
You're
take out
right.
Tyreek Hill, which is like the speed guy that you kind of like last resort. We saw that the Super Bowl when
Yeah.
he was like dropped 15 yards through it, and you're just like Tyreek is somewhere. You
Yeah.
don't have that. You have Juju Smith-Schuster that's probably going to be hanging out with your brother more than he's going to be hanging out with Patrick Mahomes. Let's just be honest.
Sure.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I thought he was great in Green Bay, but honestly, like he's not the cheetah in terms of speed. He does
No,
similar
100%.
things, but
Yeah.
like when you don't have that same speed, Patrick, like that's just like a whole other year.
Their
building.
gameplay is going to have to change a lot. Yes. And
And
while
I
I
don't
do
think
agree
that fits Patrick Mahomes' game. Is why I don't think
Okay,
it fits
that's
their
fair.
game.
See, and that's where I feel different. I think Patrick Mahomes is talented enough and as gifted as a player as he is. It's the same concept as Brady. He can make whoever's around him better.
Mm.
Like and this is why also Juju Smith, when he had AB and when he had a decent quarterback, he looked so much better. But once he was the lead receiver, he looked bad. But now he's gonna have Kelce on his team. He's gonna have other receivers where if he's not making a tick on the sideline, they actually put him in the game. He has that possibility of becoming that threat again. I think them signing him was smart in itself of like, all right, you're good. We have a great quarterback. You had a crappy quarterback these past few years. Like nothing against Ben Roethlisberger, but he's declined. It just
It was
happens.
the end. Yeah.
I think because of Mahomes being as talented as he is, that it's gonna make it where yes, he's gonna miss Tyreek, but I think once Tyreek realizes how much of a downgrade Tua is compared to what he had, is that extra 30 million worth it? Because you might get paid, but are you going to win Super Bowls? I still think the Chiefs are making a run. I don't see the Dolphins making a run. And it's also with who they have as a coach. You still have Andy Reid as a coach. You still have that. You still have one of the best coaches, not the best, but you still have one of the best coaches ever so far. Like you have that like you have his knowledge. You have Kelce's knowledge to help coach these other younger, even though he's not a receiver, you have his knowledge to help coach these receivers up. You still have good draft picks as Kansas City. You just got 5 more. So it's not like you don't have draft picks. So they're going to be able to draft players that they need to fill these holes. While Miami,
too.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, that's
Miami,
a good point.
You have no draft picks now. So any holes you had, can Tyreek fill everything? That's because if not, you're done. He has to fill everything. And I think
that's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Like while the player itself, it's bigger that Kansas City is going to miss him. But with what they can do with all those picks and stuff, it's the same thing with with the Browns sent to Houston. You got Deshaun Watson. You got no picks now, so you have to do with what you have. Yes, Deshaun Watson's going to bring in players because he's a quarterback. Tyreek Hill's not going to bring players down to Miami with him because he's just a receiver. It's a big difference. But I think it's going to be interesting. I think once the draft happens, it's really going to change a lot. That's when it's going to matter. Once we see who, and I'm excited for the draft because there's so many possibilities. I have no clue what my team's going to do. The Falcons, I have no clue what we're going to do. I have no clue what number 1. Like, there's a lot of talk of what's going to happen. Number 1, blah, blah, blah. Number 2, but will it actually? We don't know. But when it comes to the draft, your team has the draft soon, boy. You guys finally get the draft, and I know you were excited. So I will let you have your moment. I will sit back, go for it, speak. This is not butt hurt segment. This is celebration now.
This is a celebration. First of all, we have never had anything major NFL anything ever in Detroit for however long. I can't even remember. I think when was the last time anything major happened? Matthew Stafford
Uh,
going to LA winning the Super Bowl was major in Detroit. That
I
was
was gonna say when Detroit got a football team, maybe was the last time.
like we suck.
Oh.
But 2024, I'm freaking there. The draft just got granted to Detroit. I'm super pumped. I texted all my cousins. I'm like, we are going, and we're not going to remember what happens because
I'm
this is
hurt. I
never
didn't get a
gonna
text.
happen. It's Atlanta. Well, you guys have Super Bowl.
I was gonna
and
come to. I
national
was gonna come to
championship.
you. I was gonna come to you and party with you. Come on now.
Well, this is why I'm a little butthurt, which is why I didn't text because on
Okay.
the same day we get the draft, we get Hard Knocks.
I saw that text from you today, and I just laughed. I'm not gonna reply. I'm just gonna laugh.
What did we
Okay.
do to deserve Hard Knocks? Like,
Well, there's a few things. Let's be real. It's the Lions.
well, why do we want to show that? Why don't we show like, I don't know, Kansas, Kansas City, who's like now like the underdog in their own division, or like Denver with Russell Wilson, and like there's so many other storylines we could have followed, but we decided to go to Detroit for Hard Knocks. Am I gonna watch it? Absolutely, because I love Dan Campbell, and I think that's the only reason why I want to watch it is for Dan Campbell. But
I mean,
like, I'm just looking at 2024, and I'm ready for it. Brendan, you're always welcome because we could go to Canada if it gets bad because if it's bad. Bring your passport.
Was the Colts last year?
The Cowboys were last year.
Cowboys were last year, and then
The year before that, Oakland.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Yeah, like, why did we get it? We don't have any playoff implications.
Well, here's the problem because they realized they hadn't had a bad team since the Browns a couple years back, so they had to pick another bad team. Listen,
and on
it
that
could be
note,
worse.
we're gonna switch it. We're gonna switch it because we just.
It could be worse.
It's a celebration. 2024. We're going.
Celebration.
Now the boxing gloves are coming on, Brandon.
Okay.
The boxing gloves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm taking a sip of water. Once we have to talk about the NBA playoffs.
All right.
We're
holy
what?
cow.
6 games away? 6 or 7?
7 or 8. Yeah, 7. I think maybe depends on the team. Okay, so real quick, I'll just do a little rundown of the standings because wow. So first off,
starting?
Boston is no longer in first.
Okay.
We got to start in the East because Boston just lost to Toronto. So Boston is no longer in first now. Currently Miami is in first with a 1-game lead over Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Boston. Wow. First, if we also would like to go ahead and talk about Chicago, who has tanked, and I'm now scared to go back and look at who I bet to be in the Final Four because I'm pretty sure I have Chicago, and now I'm terrified because they look bad.
The
but please tell me
who.
Tell me who I picked.
Bucks versus Bulls. Okay.
So that's most likely not going to happen. Who did you have?
Bucks versus Nets, and I'm liking my pick.
I feel like the Bucks are still going to make it for both of us, and I feel like we're wrong on the other team. I don't think either of those other teams are there at this point.
Okay. Well, we're starting.
So it also depends.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm starting strong. So Boston has been on a tear since January, and I feel like we didn't talk about them barely any. Oh my God, I didn't expect them to lose to Toronto tonight. But still, those top 4 teams, anyone could take the first seed. Anyone could take the second seed. And then Chicago, Toronto, both 4.5 out from that. So I think that's pretty much. They're pretty much kind of clinched at 5 and 6. 7
I think
through
maybe
10
Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland could.
There.
They could. But 7th, I think 7 through 10 is pretty much set of Cleveland, Brooklyn, Chicago. I mean, not Chicago, Charlotte, and Atlanta. Where I really don't know because Atlanta, we look shaky, and then we can play national televised games and we win, and then we're on our 2-game win streak now. It's close. Charlotte just lost to
Denver.
the Nuggets. Brooklyn goes on a tear. Then you get Kyrie back, first home game, and you lose. Then you lose.
We don't.
Um, Cleveland, I'm not sure what. I haven't seen much Cleveland. I won't lie.
Yeah.
I think the East though, the top 10 teams are set. Those are the 10. I don't see New York making a push high enough or Washington to actually make it.
Right.
But I don't even know what to say because I watch games every night. I'm just like, this team is losing. This team. Oh,
This team should
Boston
not
winning.
be losing.
And now
Yeah.
tonight I'm like, Boston lost. But we do need to talk about, I think while we're on Boston, what's his name that got hurt?
Williams.
Yeah, that is big. That is
That is
massive in my
huge.
opinion. So I if he doesn't get hurt, I think Boston runs it, honestly, with how they were playing. But with
Yeah.
him being hurt, I now think it's back to being anyone who gets hot game. I think Boston's gone on a nice tear, but they've been so hot for so long. Is it time for them to cool off? Like it's been 2 months of them being super hot, and now they just leave a massive defensive piece. Can they stay hot? What do you think?
So I just want to say because you came in with the energy.
I,
I just want to
I
give the audience that's watching a forewarning that like I think I'm actually gonna like I'm listening to Brandon not just to understand. I want to attack what he's saying. First of
bring it.
all, I know you asked me a question, but I'm gonna give my freaking recap of
No,
this.
go for it. Go for it.
You're pretty scared that Brooklyn man. Oh my god. They just got the ban lifted mandate. First of all, that's huge implications for baseball too. But
Yeah,
like let's
yeah,
focus
yeah.
on this one. And honestly, that would have never have happened if baseball didn't come out of the lockout. We just need
Correct.
to say that for the record.
Listen,
Kyrie, don't
I
think-
left this for you because it was your team that you picked. I'm letting you have that moment.
So Toronto, we're pretty convinced because Cleveland also has a major piece out. I don't think it's
Yeah.
on the same level as Boston, but they have a major piece
No.
out for them. So I see them staying 7. I don't see them going out of the play-in tournament, honestly.
Okay.
So let's say for example, Brooklyn.
Let's
gets
say
7.
the top 10 stays the same, where the top 6 is what they are. The 7 through 10 stay what they are. They might flip flop, but they are what they are.
I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna give you this one. I think it's gonna be Brooklyn at 7, Atlanta at 8.
Okay.
After the play, if it was to have ended today, I think that would be the play-in tournament scenarios. That's who's gonna make it. I think Brooklyn gets
We
7.
agree on that much. I think Brooklyn and Atlanta both. I think they make it out of the play-in tournament. I think
So you
Atlanta's
thinking
going to
that-
finally get on their start.
Okay.
I-
and
I
not
def-
7 and 8.
I think honestly at this point they're separated by one game. Like I think Cleveland's just going to kind of tank it, and I think it might come down to the last game of this regular season to see who takes 7, who takes 8.
Okay.
But I definitely think it's one of those two teams. I really could not tell you what, because the Hawks at this point, it's the same with the Nets. You get Kyrie back, you're expecting a nice easy dub, and you lose at the first home game. The Hawks play the Warriors, given they don't have Steph Curry. We win our national televised game, but the game before then we lose to the Pacers. I thought we played the Pacers again tonight. I was like, we've lost. Before I was like, there's no way we win, but we won tonight. So it's like I can't tell you what with this team. This team
But with
confuses me
Brooklyn-
so much.
But Brooklyn, the confusion makes a little sense. Kyrie only played like 20 games this year. Like he did not play many games.
That's true.
So like he's just getting his legs under him. At this point, I'm not concerned about them losing. They're in the play-in tournament regardless. They're gonna get 7 or 8. That's what's
Yeah.
gonna happen. So 7 or 8. Let's look at it. Let's say they get 7. Who do
Okay.
they get first round? If it was at end of today, who do they get first round?
This is all you, bud. You're so excited. I would hate to
No.
take your moment.
Philadelphia. That is the matchup we want to see. I know we
Yeah.
kind of got hot on them. We got really high on them. Joel Embiid, James Harden. They haven't been playing well. I mean, realistically, if all the trends say the same, well, Philly doesn't keep playing well. Boston doesn't like recover from this injury. Milwaukee can get 2 storylines.
So that's it. Yeah,
both of those are great.
Milwaukee or Boston could get 2, and then all of a sudden Philadelphia's at 4. Like it's possible they could also get 1. It's like who knows? But I think, in my honest opinion, I think Philadelphia ends up with 3.
You think Philadelphia goes 3?
I think Philadelphia ends up with 3.
See, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at like actual who are they playing.
Yeah, that's fair. Sure.
Um, but if
I
let's
just
say it ended right now, and
okay.
like this was it, they face Philadelphia,
Yeah, they
which is
faced.
still a possible situation.
Oh yeah, very
Ben
possible.
Simmons coming back.
Will he come back though? Will he come back?
What he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to stop being a little, you know what? But I don't think it matters because I think Joel Embiid woke up something in Kevin Durant, where Kevin Durant's not going to be having it. He's gonna wake up every day to want to play Philadelphia. They're gonna
Yeah.
take care of it. I'm loving this. Now let me have my East moment because the West, I'm gonna shut up because I know you.
No.
I said Denver's a first round bounce. I said a few other
Oof.
things, so I'm ready.
Yeah, no. So I will give you this. If it's Brooklyn versus Philadelphia, I think Brooklyn wins it. If it's Brooklyn versus Milwaukee, though, I don't think they win it. To be honest, I think it's the direct. I just think at that point, Giannis take whoever plays the Milwaukee. I'm sorry, Giannis playoff mode scares me. No matter who you are, like Giannis in the playoffs is scary, and I think Kevin Durant, you are correct, is fueled right now by Joel Embiid, and also Kyrie Irving's like, let me show that we don't need James Harden. So I think if it's that matchup, Brooklyn goes off. But if they play someone else, they're not going to have the same energy. I just feel like
But even with Milwaukee, though, if it wasn't for a toenail on the line, they win that series. And they didn't
Listen.
have Kyrie or James Harden.
Yes, but also listen, sometimes things happen. Refs strip your best player and then you don't go to the finals because Milwaukee wins it. Things happen. We don't talk about those things, but it happens. Do not get me started on toenails and trips. And listen, you tried, you went there. I don't appreciate it. I'm gonna let you slide. I'm gonna let it slide today. I'm gonna let it slide. Right now. Let's hear it right now. Who do you think your top 3 seeds in the East are?
My top 3 seeds.
When it ends. I just want to hear your top 3.
When it ends,
Yeah.
I think honestly, it's gonna go Milwaukee, Miami, Philly, Boston. I think it's gonna go. I think Milwaukee's gonna kind of. I'm gonna have to look at the games, but that's just gut feeling. I see Milwaukee doing it.
I'm going Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, Miami. I think Miami drops. They haven't been consistent enough in my opinion. Like they had such a lead, and then just kind of. I think Boston, it's gonna hurt them by still think they're gonna make it up there just because it's so close. Philly, I don't trust Philly at all. I never have. I never will. But I still hate it. I wish I could say Chicago somehow wins 5 straight just to push back up, but I think it's too much for them.
But who do we think is the best 3 teams? I think that's a different question. The best 3 teams versus the top 3, because now Boston's going out. That changes things. Philadelphia doesn't look the same. Miami. I mean, do you want to give them over Milwaukee? Like, who do you think?
Honestly, I think I can't answer that until next week to kind of see how this last week of games go.
Okay.
To see who can kind of go on a run, because we need to see kind of how the Boston injury goes. We need to see if Kyrie can really get his feet like down, playing consistently now. We need to see if John Collins comes back for Atlanta. We need to see if Cleveland can still make a push. Yeah, God, please. I'm begging people at this point. It is what it is. But
you're saying Milwaukee, Miami.
Listen, Boston. I'm talking about playoff team. Listen, there's a chance. Let me have my moment.
Top 3?
I tried. No. I'm not saying not top 3. I'm saying just like injured players that like can make an impact on their team if they return.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not top 3. Not top 3. We are the St. Peters of this tournament right now.
And I'm liking your odds.
Hawks are making a push.
Yeah. I'm liking it.
But I don't even know who's still playing right now for Chicago, if they have injuries or not. Toronto, same thing. So I think I need to see how the last week goes to see who can deal with the injuries the most. Because the Hawks have been dealing with the injury the most. The Nets have been dealing with Kyrie not playing home games and stuff. So like you have teams that have been used to it. Can you make that push finally?
Yeah.
But then it goes to this other side of the NBA. And
so
first off,
this is where
shout out to the Suns who have
clinched it from last month,
number 1 seed. Oh my God.
61 games.
Yeah. I am deeply hurt for the Golden State Warriors because it's clear that Steph Curry hurts them more than any of us thought it would. They are not a good team without Steph Curry. They're getting blown out by Memphis tonight. I don't know the score currently, but it's a blowout last I saw at halftime. We're going to start down low. I'll start down low because I want to make it easy for you. First off, could you tell me could you look at the San Antonio score real fast? Just curious. Are they winning? just let me know before I continue. They're winning. Okay, that's so. So they're going to be pretty much tied with your Lakers, um, who are awful.
Forgive
They
me.
are
They aren't
horrendous.
winning. Forgive me. They aren't
Oh,
winning. They won.
oh, okay. So let me refresh my page, see if it changes anything. Because yeah, so they are half a game out of 10th right now. And here's the thing. Let's just look at these losses right now. They've won 4 straight, and the Lakers have lost 2 with blowing a, was it 25-point lead almost or something around those lines, something close by. Yeah. So they're bad, really bad. LeBron can't do enough. Accept it. They're done. They're not making the play in. Would you like to rebuttal anything before I continue my rant of destroying you?
Didn't I call it?
You did, but does it
I
hurt you?
called it. They won.
Does it hurt you though?
It
Does it hurt
kills
you though?
me. But LeBron, when he said that ankle is worse than it was, I was
Yeah.
like, at least I'm right on something.
Yeah,
It,
that's
it
fair.
kills me. And then now we're stuck with Russell Westbrook. We're stuck with freaking like. Has AD
Oh,
been playing?
80, he might come back. I heard that he might. He's full practice again. I think so. So
It has
you
to
got
easy. That's what I say.
So yeah. So I think so, as you know, here's the problem. New Orleans is also a very bad team. So there's a chance New Orleans could drop and Lakers stay in. But I don't see that happening. I'm sorry.
I don't see it either.
I'm not
I mean,
sorry
at
at
least
all,
I'm
actually.
right.
Do you want to be right now, though?
At
Do
least
you want to
I
be?
called that they will.
You did. You did.
I
Um,
called that they won't make it, but I didn't
I'm not gonna
actually
lie.
think it will happen.
It brings joy to me to have this talk right now. So,
Just
yeah, Lakers
give
are
it to me.
horrendous.
Give it to me. Just
So then there's this team called Denver that I am very happy on still. Given, they're not, 2 seed. They won't make 2 because Memphis has done work. Congrats. Memphis is a very good team, especially without Ja Morant also, I found out. They're like 17-2 without him. Oh my God, that's scary.
beat
But if I
Brooklyn. That
look
was
at
big
this,
time.
yeah, if I look at this right now, yeah, Golden State, who's now 13.5 behind Phoenix, who's dropping more because they're losing again tonight. You got Dallas at
So
15.
let's throw out Phoenix. Let's throw out Phoenix. They're really
Okay, yeah.
5 games behind Memphis.
Yeah,
Because
so
they got it. Memphis 5 games.
Memphis has 2 seed. Memphis has 2 seeds. So let's be real. This is a fight for 3 and 4, really.
Yeah.
Golden State is going to drop, but right now from 3 to 6, it's a 3-game difference. And Denver is coming in hot at just 3 games behind 3rd place right now, and they've won 2 straight. They won tonight against Charlotte. Thank God. Bless. So happy. Not just because Denver won, because Charlotte lost. Utah has lost 4 straight. They're not looking great right now. They're kind of on a decline. Dallas, I couldn't tell you what's up with Dallas. You look great one night, you look bad one night. You look great. It's back and forth. I am loving my Denver pick so much though. It's not even funny. I know you hate me for it. I told you so. It's wonderful. Eat your words.
I will not. I will not.
Okay.
If it ends today, who would they be playing?
I ain't worried.
I mean, if it ends today and you guys get Golden State,
I
with
ain't
the
worried
Steph
at all.
Curry, you should be worried. If it's without, then I bite my words.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's
If
talk
it's
about
without,
it.
if it's
Utah
with,
could
it
go
goes
up.
7.
Utah
could.
could go up.
Any
I don't see
4 of those
Dallas.
teams could go up.
I don't see
Where you at?
Dallas,
I think
like you said. It's going to be if anyone Utah could get into that 3 spot. But do you really want to face Utah?
But here's the
I
other thing.
mean,
Here's the other thing. Could Denver make the run at the end to go to 3? They're only half a game behind Utah. They could make
So
a 3 or
that's-
4 push.
so you know what? Because I did such a bold take, I'm going to pull up their schedule. I'm going to pull it up.
That's
Full
fair.
schedule.
Because I
Who
know
do they
deep
have?
down you're like you don't accept that I'm going to be right on this one.
I'm not
I know
going to.
you're trying your best, but I'm not upset at all. I'm so
Oh my-
yeah. I hear that right now.
Okay, you got Indiana, which isn't a cakewalk.
Is this for the Nuggets?
Nuggets. This is for the Nuggets.
Okay. Indiana, that's a dub. Okay, next.
Are we 100% sure?
Yes. If the Hawks can beat them, the Pacers. If the Hawks win, then yeah, easy.
But
easy dub.
Indiana, okay. Minnesota.
No. That one's a scary one. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. Where's Minnesota right now? They're 7, so they're just behind them. Um, Minnesota is averaging more points, but they also give up more points. So that one's a 50-50. Is it
That
home or
one's a
away?
50-50.
Where are they playing?
That's
Where are they playing?
they're playing at hhome.
I'm gonna
Denver.
go. On that one, I think Denver takes the dub. It's gonna be a close one, overtime maybe, but with it being home, gives them a slight edge.
I'm not going to mention the next team because it's not worth mentioning. But
Who is it?
maybe
Who is
the
it?
Lakers. They have the Lakers
Okay, so that's a dub.
twice. They have the Lakers
Two
twice.
dubs. Two dubs. Two dubs.
But then you have
Okay,
San
so that
Antonio, you have Memphis.
okay. So let's say they go
3-3.
4-2.
Let's say
I was saying
3.
4-2. 4-2. I think 4-2
Okay.
is fair. I think that I could see them losing to Memphis and to Minnesota. I think they beat the Spurs. I think they destroy the Lakers both times. I think 4-2. You go 4-2
Yeah.
at that point. I think you could push to the 4 seed. It's going to be hard to push to the 3 seed because you got to win. At that point, you have to have the top 3 teams above you basically win 3 games at least.
But then let's look at Utah. They have
Okay.
so maybe I shouldn't. Jesus Christ.
So that
They have
was
the
that Clippers, who
the
apparently
Lakers.
could be, the Clippers could be getting back
Getting Paul George back. Yeah.
and Kawhi, depending on things, they could get both back. I don't see it really mattering, but in theory, okay. So I think the Clippers, that's a tough one. You never know what you're getting with the Clippers.
Then you got the Lakers.
Okay, so that's a dub.
Golden State.
Will Steph Curry be back? We don't know.
We don't know. Memphis. OKC.
That should be a
Phoenix.
dub. That's a loss.
Portland.
Well, it depends. Does Phoenix rest players? That's the question also because they've clinched the 1 seed.
And Memphis. Do they rest players?
They might. I don't know. It's also I feel like Memphis though is in the mindset where we just want to play right now. I think John Morant will
Okay.
just want to go out and play. So I think Memphis doesn't. Phoenix might. But at the same time, even if Memphis rests players, they don't need their starters to win. They've shown that. So yeah, that's a scary one. And you said Brooklyn last?
Portland.
Portland. Okay, no.
So I think
3-3 at that one. I think they go 3-3.
They go 3-3.
Which means that if
they still
that's
get the 4 or they still get the
no.
3.
If they go 3-3 and Denver goes 4-2, Denver beats them by half a game.
Okay, so then they get. That would assume that Golden State, Dallas, as is, shipped down to the 5 and 6. Do you really want to face like Minnesota in the 7-game series? Like, I don't know.
Honestly, I would rather face Minnesota in the 7-game series than Golden State, Dallas, or Utah because they have playoff history. Not much. Some of them have a lot. Others don't.
But who looks better? Minnesota looks. I mean, when you really look at it, I think they came out.
Yeah, no, they did. So the West is scary because the West, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I still have faith in Denver, though. I've had faith in them for so long at this point. I have to keep my faith in them. I think they make the push for 3 or 4.
You've been right on the West from the jump. So
yeah.
I'm holding hope for Denver to be.
Who do I have in the Final 4 for the West? Could you remind me?
You have the Suns versus Jazz.
I'm liking Suns a lot. Jazz, it's possible. I'm not against it. I still think Denver makes it through the first round, or at least actually they just have to make the playoffs, and I'm fine because you said they weren't even going to make the playoffs. So
no, I said for the record, Nuggets won't make it past the first round. That's what it says in my notes.
Oh, you changed it. That's right. You changed it.
Yeah.
You originally had they. Okay, I saw they didn't make it past first round. And then they play Utah 2nd round, and Utah says bye. But who do you have as you have
Golden State and Memphis.
Oh, you don't have Phoenix. Okay, so you're probably you might get one right. But if Steph Curry doesn't come back,
that's the big one. I made that pick. If I was gonna have
with Steph Curry.
Yeah. If I lose that because of Steph Curry being out, I can live with myself.
Yeah.
So I'm liking. I mean, like, so realistically. Like the West is going to be a very nice toss-up when we're really looking at the conference finals, because like we could be right. Like we have 4 different teams represented. All 4 of them we could see making a run. The East, though,
Chicago,
that can come to a
Chicago.
conflict.
I need
That
to
can
fly to
conflict with each
Chicago
other.
right now. I need to fly to them, sit down, have a players meeting, and be like, what are y'all doing? That's the only hope. Y'all don't know me, but what are you doing?
I'm
Follow
like
my
this point
podcast.
of calling Kyrie and just telling him like, hit the treadmill, buddy. Like Jesus, do whatever you need to do. I need you in the conference finals. I just need you. Lose to the Bucks, but I just need you in the conference finals. Which I'm looking at it, they could that like depending on where Milwaukee looks, we might have to do like maybe we do a March Madness type bracket for the
I'm down.
playoffs.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down
Because
for the whole playoffs. Yeah.
and
Once
we might
play-in's
have to
done.
redo our Final Four just because of the paths that they might have to take.
Yeah,
Because
which is fair.
looking at it now, we might have to change some
I
of
mean,
it.
yeah, when we picked the Final Four, the seedings was so different. I mean, so different.
I think Golden
Oh
State
my
was
God.
number 1 at the time.
Golden
and
State was
Memphis
one.
like 4 or 5.
Yeah, and then you had the Bulls and the Heat fighting for one, and it's just like
Everything's changed. Everything has changed.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to revisit this conversation as
We
well
will
as
100%.
MVP after
Yeah,
March Madness. But let's get into talk about a little soccer. Let's get into
Let's
it.
do it. I want to shout out to Canada real fast. The men's national team for soccer made their first World Cup since 1980 something. I think I said earlier to you when I mentioned it to talk about it. I mean, it's been a long time coming for them. Congrats. Congrats to them. Another team though that has now missed 2 World Cups straight. Italy. That one is spicy, and they lost on a last-second goal to I don't even know who. I can't remember who, but ouch. Italy is not happy with their team. U.S. we haven't clinched. We had a nice draw in Mexico. 0-0. We could have easily won that game. We had 2 chances, and we missed them both. But
it was Missouri. Italy lost to Missouri.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, ouch. So Canada, shout out to them. Italy, ouch. US, if they win or draw or don't lose by 6 goals, they're in the World Cup as well, which is big because they missed last World Cup. They won. I want to say it was 6-1 last night. I can't remember. I think against Panama maybe. It was a great game. So I'm excited. Mexico is also probably going to make the World Cup. If US wins, then Mexico will make it as well, kind of. So that North America region who's hosting the 2026 World Cup, which I'm so pumped for, which that will be a long way down the road, but Atlanta gets a game. We're going to go. We're going to find a way. Accept it.
Forgive me, North Macedonia. Missouri is what they call Italy's players. So North Macedonia.
Oh, even worse. That's worse.
Yeah.
So it's most likely going to be all of North America that places in the World Cup, which I'm excited for. I can't wait. It's big. Just, that World Cup's coming up sooner than later also. I think next week we'll probably talk a little more Champions League because that's going to be when the draws are coming out for the next round.
The draws are,
Yeah.
Quarterfinals or
World
semifinals? I think semifinals.
But yeah, I mean, World Cup qualifying will be done at that point, so we'll know who's in it also. We won't know groups for a while, but still, we'll know if US makes it, which is just exciting because brings the world together. MLS had a bye week this week for international break. There was a couple teams that played, but I don't think either of our teams played. So I know we're playing next week, this weekend, but
I think I saw this video of when you brought up USA of Pulisic when he was ready to fight. Like this kid, when they got eliminated last time, I think he was like a little youngster, a little baby. He's not. And
I mean, he's still fairly young.
Guy that crossed up so many people. I'm forgetting his name.
There's a few.
He has a number 11, I believe. I'm gonna have to look into it.
Yeah.
He's like a youngster, like baby, like Pulisic was 4 years ago.
I want to say, I can't think of how to pronounce his last name, but it starts with an R. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoever
he plays.
Is.
Yeah. Hey, he crossed over so many people in that Mexico game, but yeah, no, he's an up and coming. Squads look good. There was a couple chances. Pulisic missed one against Mexico, and then there was a second one that should have gone in that didn't happen. But still, taking a draw in Azteca against Mexico is massive because that's a hard place to play. You got altitude, you got the Mexican fan base. Like it's a scary place to play. So big
But what
draw, and
did you
then
tell me before the call? That I was like, they could either.
yeah, like I mentioned, like I was like, as long as US doesn't lose 6-0, it's like it shouldn't happen. But at the same time,
We don't know. We
I'm
don't know.
scared. One, because it's soccer and weirder things have happened, but also because I'm an Atlanta sports fan who I'm used to us screwing the easiest wins of our life.
I'm a
So I'm just
Lions
like,
fan, so
please.
it's not the. It's not that.
Well, y'all don't even
I
get those
mean,
situations. You're not even
no,
you
we
be in the bottom of
win.
the table.
We win when we could get the number 1 draft pick. No, let's beat the Green Bay Packers in the last game of the season. Very good. So
Yeah.
I'm so pumped.
But
There's
no.
so much sports, man. Like, and it's a nice little timeline. We got March Madness,
Yeah.
NBA
And
playoffs.
things are starting to slow down a bit where we're not like cramming 50 different things into people's faces, which as
Thank
much
you,
as I love them,
NFL.
it's not
Thank you,
nice
NFL.
to it's nice to finally be like, all right, we can talk about things and elaborate on them, not be like, all right,
Right.
drilling these different things down people's throats. But um, I'm excited. This week's gonna be good for basketball, for World Cup qualifying, to finish out March Madness, see who wins it all. Um, then opening day will be, we'll have one more podcast before opening day, but
2
it's
weeks,
coming
right?
close
Yeah.
to 10 days, less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
Excited. So soccer, baseball, basketball.
We're gonna
There
have
might be hockey. Yeah,
our hands full, but we're ready for it, even if we got to stay up later and do whatever. But
let's do
we
it,
love
man.
you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this edition. But what should we call this one? Let's give them a name that they have to watch the video to understand.
Oh, that's tough. I was not prepared for this. I got nothing right now. I won't lie.
Like the
I wasn't prepared.
potatoes.
Potato.
Make it full
Potato.
circle.
Potato madness. Potato madness.
Potato.
Mix it in. Mix it in.
I
Mix it
love
in with the
that.
March Madness.
Potato
Madness.
madness. So when you guys are watching this, you're gonna have no idea what we're talking about until you look at the
No
minutes.
idea. I love
So
it, man.
see you guys next week, guys.
Yep.
Peace.
Hope you guys have a great week.
Yeah, man. Take care. Bye.